Tyler Cantrell, BlazerTV.com. We're here with UAB head baseball coach Brian Shoop. And coach, had a kind of a good year this year. We're doing our summer update. We just got done with women's basketball. We're coming to you next, and you got a nice new piece of hardware in here in your office. How does it feel to have that around?
Well, it's special, and a culmination of 17 years of work and long time coming, but special work for our special week for our program and our kids and everybody that cares about the program. So really pleased, proud, and happy to have this displayed in our office now.
Talking about the program and kind of where it's headed, we'll believe this was the 4th straight winning season for UAB baseball. And when you consider the program you inherited, you had a lot of things that you had to get done, and you'd had a lot of success at Birmingham Southern, 16 straight winning seasons, and a lot of trips like this to the NCAA tournament. Compare those to finally getting there here. You've had to build this one almost from the ground up.
Well, I actually wouldn't say that we had to build it from the ground up. I don't want to take away anything from all the blood, sweat, and tears that Coach Walker, Coach Giangrosso, Coach Rancott, and all the assistants and all the players that have gone before. There have been a lot of really good players come through this program, and a lot of guys played professionally, before we got here, all of those years are laying groundwork as well. I mean, you got to think about this. This is a baby program in terms of college athletic programs. 33 years, I think, something like that. That is not very long to be playing a sport. You start with zero tradition, zero alumni, zero fan base, literally, and so I would say that each one of those years and each one of those teams, each one of those players, each one of those coaches have played a role. And, fortunately, we've been able to continue that process. How it compares, they're all special. The championships at Birmingham Southern were special. Because it's been a drought and a long time coming, this one was very special, and I don't participate personally in those dog piles, but it's sure fun to get to watch your kids be involved in that, and you see the joy in their eyes, so it is special. We went into the year, and it's not that we talk a ton about goals. We're really process oriented, but we did have a slogan all year. It's time, and it was time, and that, again, just so many hours of work and effort and fighting through disappointment to come to that moment was what was very, very special.
And you talk about that disappointment a little bit. This team, last couple of years, have had some chances, and it looked like you were going to break through a year or two earlier. But some things would happen, and you come up just a little bit short. This year, about a month before the season, you even stated yourself after the win, you didn't know if this was possible. Because you were hitting some hard times. What changed? What clicked in this team? Do you think that really helped lead to this historic run?
Well, nothing changed. We just stayed with the process. The negatives that happened is, we've and did again this year had a run of injuries that are tough for anybody to overcome. And our Friday night guy was down, our Saturday guy was down, couldn't take the mound in the tournament. But we had a lot of ups this season, which we have each of the last several seasons. We've beat Alabama 5 out of 6. We beat Troy 4 in a row. We had top 20 wins at Rice, at Central Florida, at Clemson. So we had a lot of really good and exciting moments. We had disappointing moments, but in those disappointing moments, we had 9 losses where we were tied or ahead in the 8th inning. So that's close. That's a competitive team that's close. And so we just stayed with the process. And then in that week, we played incredibly well. Can't quote the stats off my head, but Ben would have them. I mean, we out-hit, outscored, out-pitched, outfielded. The numbers were staggering, really, what we did, what our kids did on those 4 days. So certainly earned it that week, and really kind of left no doubt. It was a really good week of play. We actually played very well down in Tallahassee, except for one inning, and competed very well against a College World Series participant, the number 3 national seed, Florida State, in their field, and competed very well against the SEC champion, Mississippi State.
What was that like for you, having so many ties, obviously, with Coach Polk? And I thought it was a real fitting way for you guys to actually be in their regional with Mississippi State. What was that like, having them down there at the same time?
Well, I told people at the time it would be great to have played. We'd have been happy. When you haven't played in a regional in 19 years, we'd have gone to Juneau, Alaska, played at midnight. It wouldn't have mattered. But there are friends and certainly history, in those relationships and program, and with Samford for that matter, and honestly with Coach Martin at Florida State. So a lot of friendly rivalries, very first-class programs. Florida State did an amazing job of hosting. Of course, they've done it a few times. They should be good at it, but an incredible experience and special year all in all for our kids and our program. And we're designing rings right now and to commemorate it, and that'll be a lifelong keepsake for the 33 young men that were in this program this year.
Obviously it will, and it's great to have any rings for the kids. Looking at next year, you did lose some seniors this year. One recently signed with Chicago White Sox, Patrick Palmeiro. So you're continuing to send guys to the major leagues or get on that route. What do you see coming back next year for you guys?
Well, we got back on a Sunday night and, went back to recruiting on Monday. I mean, it just hasn't stopped. Actually, as of today, I still haven't had a day off since mid-January. The grind keeps going. But you lose guys every year. That's part of the nature. My greatest concern right now is Ben Bullard had labrum surgery, and he wasn't one we were anticipating losing. We thought he'd anchor the staff next year. That's an injury that normally doesn't come back within the time frame that he's got to come back. If that's the case, we lose all 3 conference starters, not 2. We were planning on losing 2. We weren't planning on losing 3. That catches off guard, and you can't catch that up. But what that does is it creates an opportunity for somebody else. We feel like we're having good recruiting classes every year. Our guys are off playing in the summer. Yvonne will return in left field. He's playing in the Great Lakes League. Usry's playing in the Northwoods League. He started in center. Chase Davis is leading the Great Lakes League in hitting. He's one of our returning outfielders. Jeff Schalk, our all-freshman player, is in the Cape Cod League playing. You go around the field, we've got guys off playing at a national level, excelling, gaining experience. So, we've got a good group coming back. We've got a good group coming in. We'll have a competitive team. It's the issue is with the schedule we play, so does everybody else. It's a very, very fine line between winning and losing. We've been on both sides of that line, the most recently on the good side of it. But it's going to continue to be a challenge, and we'll have a good competitive college baseball team. We'll have to see how it clicks and who's going to take Ben's spot and in the pitching rotation. When we talk about our program, I never like to talk solely about what's happening on the field. I hope our program is about way more than that. I'm very excited and proud of the fact that 24 of our kids earned a 3.0 or better this year. 8 of them earned a 4.0. That for the 5th consecutive year, a baseball player has had the top male GPA at UAB. It was Keith DePue this year, but that's 5 years in a row that one of our kids has had that award. Our kids are graduating. Our kids are giving back to the community, and I never want to judge what's happening solely on what's happening on the field. That would mean that this year was a success and last year was a failure, and I don't feel that way at all. Most of these kids, almost all these kids, are not going to make a living playing professionally. So, what they're preparing for is to excel in other areas of life, and most of them as husbands and fathers. So, in the end of all, that's what I hope our program's about.
I think so. You can tell, too, if you look right here, we've actually got the All-Academic Baseball Team Awards right here, right beside the Conference Championship Trophy, so that's always good to see and know what you guys are building. How's your summer been going? You've had some summer camps. You've had no off days, as you just said, but let everybody know how your camps have gone. I believe you got one left.
Camps are camp. It's it's an opportunity when you have your young kids in to touch lives. When you have your high school camps in, which we just finished one yesterday, you have a chance to have people on campus that you might like to have at UAB and in school and in our program in the future. And they've all gone great. We get great feedback. And the camp that we have left that you referenced is our father-son camp that I've been doing for a long time. And that's probably the most fun for me because you see some real father-son bonding going on, and you're seeing some lifelong memories happen. And fatherhood is so special to me in my own life. I'm celebrating my 31st wedding anniversary, and Brenda and I have 5 children, so I'm a father of 5, and as fun and as special as baseball is, nothing like your own children, and so we wanted to give an opportunity to help fathers teach the game correctly, but at the same time, even more importantly, just have create a memory, with their boy. And that happens. And, we end with pizza and a father versus son game, which the Sons are undefeated and will be again this year. We've got that set up for that to happen. And that'll be a great week. I actually think we've got a few openings, but every father and son that comes through loves it, and it's a special memory for them. So that's July 15 through 18.
Oh, absolutely. Be looking forward to that, and people can come through and have another memory. And one quick question I have to ask you. You mentioned the Alabama series. A lot of UAB fans are very excited about the success over Alabama in the last few years. But every year you guys usually play that game down at Regions Park for the home game. There's a new baseball stadium getting built down the road. Just the potential of maybe having a new facility like that to play some games in. How awesome do you think that is for UAB, or how can that affect UAB in this program?
Well, we're excited about it. I just don't know details about it. So I don't want to use it too much in recruiting or make too many definitive comments because I'm not positive. We have some hopes. We're talking. We're in great relationship with the Logans, with Maribel, with the city. Brian Mackin, our athletic director, of course, is on the committee. So we're hopeful that it could be another enhancement for our program, but it's still a hole in the ground right now. So today we're focused on our recruiting class for 2014. We'll take that when it comes. We're excited about the possibilities. I tell you the truth, I love playing at Young Memorial Field too, and playing on campus. So which I'm sure we would continue to play some of our home games there. And of course, we'd have to continue to practice there. So we're pleased and thankful to have Young Memorial Field, and hopeful of what our partnership with the Barons might be downtown in the new stadium, which I think is going to be a great thing for our city.
Absolutely, and you mentioned earlier, Ivan, and he was in the Great Lakes League, I believe you said correctly. And one of the most fun times at Young Memorial Field is when he comes up to bat and his song plays. And I just want to, is that your ringtone? Do you need to admit that, is that your ringtone?
No, mine should be, because it is not the best walk-up song in college baseball.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, everybody loves it when Yvonne comes up. And sometimes I think about just calling timeout so we can keep the song going. Yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely, and we just want to thank you for your efforts here, and continued luck on and off the field with UAB Baseball.
Appreciate it. Okay.